Good evening from the Nation Center here in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. Many thanks for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition. On a day there were nationwide protests against femicide in the country. We have the lowdown for you. Welcome to the broadcast. NTV Weekend Edition begins now.
Stop killing women. We are tired and enough is enough.
Staggering femicide statistics. 17 women killed in 26 days. Will countrywide protest jolt relevant authorities to act? Also tonight.
Lazima tutake kwa manake hakuna si kuku ni mtu binadamu.
A shopkeeper's death that drew a woman to her killers, or did it? Family of Nancy Modoni demand justice for slain mother of 4. Plus,
na hii judiciary ndio inasimamisha ushuru yako. Mimi naona hapo kama tutakosana kidogo.
Forget independence. Kenya Kwanza leaders vow to cut judiciary budgets. And
we're here to continue the implementation of our Food Trees for Schools project, which is a project that is aimed at addressing the challenge of food security, but also raising awareness among our children.
Climate Action Champion Elizabeth Wadhuti on Women in Power tonight.
Live from Nation Center, this is Weekend Edition with Ben Kitili.
welcome to the broadcast. Our sign language interpreter tonight is David Agundoa. Kenyans across the country today held peaceful protests in various cities and towns against the rising cases of femicide and other forms of violence against women. The protesters demanded justice for the murder victims and enhanced measures to protect women from all forms of abuse. NTV's Martin Mwangi begins our broadcast tonight.
Business in the capital, Nairobi, and other major towns and cities countrywide came to a standstill as thousands of people flocked the streets in protest against the increased cases of women being brutally murdered. The peaceful protest against femicide saw demonstrators in Nairobi march all the way from Jivanji Gardens through the city center.
Intentional killing of women, and it's because the perpetrators feel they are more powerful and masculine to overpower women.
The aim of the protest was to push the government and security organs to do more in order to protect women, not just from murder, but from all forms of violence. Several human rights groups and civil society organizations also took part in the demonstrations demanding justice for the femicide victims.
The government of Kenya takes action, because if you are having your women and girls being killed and you are not speaking, even as at now, there is something wrong, and that something wrong needs to be fixed. We need to have a Kenya that is safe for women, men and children, and we are saying that's not negotiable.
The protests were also held in several other counties including Mombasa, Kisumu, Turkana and Isiolo.
We call for the implementation of stricter laws and penalties for the perpetrators of femicide to deter such violent acts. Improved law enforcement. We urge for enhanced law enforcement measures and responsiveness to cases of violence against women.
17 women have been killed this month alone. The most recent is that of Nancy Muthoni from Kiharu village, Mukurweni sub-county in Nyeri County, whose body was found dumped in a thicket several kilometers from her home on 25th January. Her face was disfigured and had a broken hand. No one has been arrested in connection to Nancy Muthoni's murder. Martin Mwangi, NTV.
In the meantime, the family of Nancy Muthoni, a woman who was brutally murdered in Kiharu village, Mukurweni, Nyeri County, is urging the government to speed up investigations to determine who killed their daughter. According to the husband of the deceased, Muthoni left home on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Going to the shops but never returned. NTV's Margaret Kimathi visited the family and now reports.
Nancy Muthoni mwenye umri wa miaka 36 alionekana mara ya mwisho
We apologize for that technical hitch. Our coverage of today's protest against femicide, including a discussion from various stakeholders, will be coming your way shortly. In the meantime, several roads have been rendered impassable after flood waters from River Ewasonyiro destroyed bridges following heavy flooding in the area. As NTV's Lois Ongwe now tells us, residents say the rains may have exposed the poor workmanship in some of the infrastructural projects that have failed to withstand the floods.
An aerial view of this bridge at Olekutat area gives a clear picture of the destruction caused by rains in Narok County. The bridge has been turned into a concrete island after water from River Ewasonyiro cut off the road on both ends of the bridge. The river burst its banks about 3 weeks owing to sustained heavy downpour in the area.
Hapa hiyo barabara na haribika sana. Hii maji hii kubwa sana hapa hii. Kubwa sana. Na haribika hiyo daraja sana.
The destruction of this bridge has consequently cut off transport between Narok East and Narok South areas, leaving residents to question the quality of structural works on the bridge that was put up in 2022.
Hii maji na haribika sana hiyo daraja. Iko hiyo mtoto ya shule iko ya ngambo hapana kia siku shule hata hiyo hospitali hapana enda hakuna iko shida sana.
Sasa hizi madaraja yamekatika yote. Sasa hizi gari zingine zimeingia mtaro. Ukweli upande hii iko shida ya barabara zaidi. Wenye wanahusikana na barabara wakuja hata wakionea wenyewe vile magari ziko mtoni.
Elsewhere, transport was halted for about 3 hours at Webuye following heavy downpour, as well falling off electric posts and cables to the highway. Lois Ongwe, NTV.
In other news, a police officer was arrested by officers from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, for receiving a bribe of 30,000 shillings, has been released on a cash bail of 30,000 shillings. Paul Kamau Mbogwa, stationed at Kasarani Police Station, was cornered and arrested after allegedly receiving a bribe of 30,000 shillings so as to release 2 brothers whom he had arrested and detained in the station with an unknown offense without booking them at the OB. The officer wailed uncontrollably as he tried to resist arrest after being ambushed by the EACC officers. EACC spokesperson Eric Ngumbi says this is one of the numerous incidents where police officers in the country arrest people without any offense, detain them, and ask for bribes to release them.
Okay, vizuri bwana. Vizuri. Twendeni.
You're watching NTV Weekend Edition. Time for a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we return,
na hiyo pesa itakuja kufanyiwa budget kwa bunge, na mahali pesa inatoka ni kwa ushuru, na hii judiciary ndio inasimamisha ushuru yako. Mimi naona hapo kama tutakosana kidogo.
Judiciary family on executive's leash.
Welcome to the Delight Nakuru, brought to you by Username Investments. Perfect for your dream home, investment for holiday home, going only for 799,000 shillings for an eighth of an acre. SMS Nakuru to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Panda tukupandishe on Go Entertainment this new year on GoTV bila kulipia extra. Kama uko on GoTV Lite, lipia GoTV Value. Utapata kufurahia GoTV Plus. Tayari on GoTV Value, then lipia GoTV Plus uenjoy GoTV Max. Kama wewe ni wa GoTV Plus, lipia GoTV Max ujinice na shows noma kabisa on GoTV Super. Furahia the best sports, international shows na local shows on a like free. Download GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
Welcome to IG Sacco, where your financial journey meets cutting-edge convenience. Say goodbye to queues with our CRM service. Manage your accounts, inquiries, and more, all from the comfort of your fingertips. Introducing the IG Sacco mobile app, your pocket-sized branch. Transfer funds, check balances, and enjoy a seamless banking experience on the go. Explore our comprehensive website, a one-stop hub for all your financial needs. From loan calculators to detailed information, it is all here at www.igsaccolimited.co.ke. Need a loan? Our website features a handy loan calculator. Estimate your borrowing potential and plan your repayments hassle-free. Because at IG Sacco, it's not just about banking. It's a journey, our investment, our growth. Join us today. IG Sacco, where innovation meets your financial goals.
This is an introduction, foundation to the family series. We need to know where it all began. That can only come from the book of God in the very beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. That formless darkness, chaos, in many ways describes many of our lives where we are at. But present with us always is the Spirit of God, in a sense hovering, looking to speak into our lives and to say, "Let there be light." And I pray this is what will happen in the family series. The areas of darkness that exist, we pray that God will say, "Let there be light."
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we review Changan Auto's flagship product, the Hunter Double Cab Pickup. We check out its design, comfort, performance, and off-road capabilities. Finally, we glance over the horizon with Land Rover's Discovery's plug-in hybrid and check out Mazda's latest model, the stunning CX-60 SUV. Catch this and much more on your Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. in association with Changan Auto by Inchcape, Kenya.
Join the Optivan family today and experience the epitome of coastal living at Ocean View Ridge, Vipingo by Optivan. Call us on 0790 300 300.
Optivan, Optivan.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Now, the Cold War between the executive and judiciary is far from over if sentiments from Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, are anything to go by. Ichung'wah is proposing a significant reduction of the judiciary budget as punishment for recent rulings against government policies, the latest being the one on the housing levy. Yes, even as Kotu boss Francis Atwoli blames the Office of the Attorney General for failing to advise the President appropriately. NTV's Zacchaeus Mwasame has the latest.
If President William Ruto will follow the advice from Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, then the judiciary could be headed back to Kenya Kwanza era. While speaking in Meru in the company of the head of state, National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah suggested a punitive approach by denying the judiciary adequate funding in what he says is a tit-for-tat for sabotaging Kenya Kwanza's manifesto.
Na mimi rais najua ulifanya mkutano na hiyo watu. Na tunakuheshimu, nimekutolea kofia rais. Na ulisema utawaongezea pesa kwa judiciary. Lakini kama unataka uongezee pesa, na hiyo pesa itakuja kufanyiwa budget kwa bunge, na mahali pesa inatoka ni kwa ushuru, na hii judiciary ndio inasimamisha ushuru yako. Mimi naona hapo kama tutakosana kidogo. Mimi naona kama ikifika bunge tutafunga kingine.
Ama mnataka tufanye namna gani? Ichung'wah's sentiments echo those of President Ruto, who has been attacking the judiciary in public following a spate of unfavorable court decisions on contested government policies.
Whether you have a job in the executive like me, or you have a job in the legislature, or you have a job in the judiciary, it is deceitful for you to sabotage the opportunity for other Kenyans also to get a job in other parts of our economy.
Tupige msasa budget ya nchi yote. Tuangalie kama judiciary wanapata pesa. Hiyo pesa inafanya nini kuchangia ajira ya vijana wa Kenya?
Akina nani watafaidika? Na pesa itatoka wapi? Itajengwa namna gani? Haya yote mpango hajafanyika. Kutakuwa na kongamano ya kuongea juu ya mambo ya affordable housing scheme. Ndio sababu mahakama inasimamisha. Mahakama inasimamisha kwa sababu nasema ni kinyume ya sheria.
But Court Secretary General Francis Atwoli is of a different view. Atwoli says the office of the Attorney General is to blame for not advising the government appropriately.
Wanataka wa advise government. Tusiona hii mfurutano ya kotini na president, mara hii imetolewa na koti, mara hii koti imepinga hii, mara mambo haya yamefanyika. Kabla hayo maneno ijafanyika, government must be properly advised by the office of Attorney General. Na any good politician ambaye anataka amani kwa nchi hii must appropriately advise the government.
On Friday, the Court of Appeal declined to lift a ban on the housing levy that the High Court had declared discriminatory and unconstitutional. On the same day, the High Court stopped government's plan to deploy Kenyan police officers to Haiti for a peacekeeping mission, saying it was illegal. Zacchaeus Mwasame, NTV.
We stay on this very important issue for you here on NMG. Now, street food has now become a new normal in Mombasa, a city with an incredible mix of culture, where street food from snacks to complete meals have become exceedingly popular. And as our Fatma Bogu now tells us, residents have now adopted the culture of eating outdoors because of the booming business of street cuisine.
A warm breeze from the Indian Ocean blows in through the narrow alleyways of Mombasa Old Town, stirring up the spiced aroma of food being prepared on streets corners. Unlike years ago where you would only find viazi karai and bajia, things have now changed. During an afternoon or evening, the streets are brimming with sweet aroma with vendors frying, roasting and grilling on huge street-side cooking stoves. Variety of coastal dishes are displayed on the roadsides, from shawarma, chicken tikka, mkate wa mayai, katlesi, chana batata, among other cuisines.
Wakati kulikuwa na viazi na bajia zikisukumwa na kagari, tukila viazi vya rojo. Hakukuwa na siku hizi mkate wa sinia, hakukuwa na hizi vitu hizi twa dawarma, hazikuwa. Hivi sasa zinaenea kila kona.
Now this is one of my way to release my stress after work. I always come here na kula hizi mwanzo hizi katlesi na kachori, these are my best.
Siku hizi ukiingia mtaani utapata kila mahali kumechangamka, mida jioni watu wametoka majumbani wanakuja street huko wanakula wenyewe wanajivinjari, sio kama nyumbani.
It's all well if you want to experience coastal cuisine at your own 5-star hotel, but to fully experience coastal food in its true essence, the streets of the way to go. Residents have now adopted the practice of eating outdoors because of the booming business of street foods, which also has been greatly influenced by the environment and the coastal weather.
Vyakula vya Mombasa ni vyakula vya Kiswahili. Si kama miji mingine utapata wenyeji wanapika githeri pale na ndoo inawekwa pale, mtu anakuja anachotewa. Utapata mtu ambeba familia yake anakuja nao mtaani. Wanakuja mwenyewe wanapata chakula chao cha jioni, baadaye wanarudi nyumbani.
Proximity to vendors and markets such as Mwembe Tayari and Markiti is one of the reasons why the street food culture flourishes here, especially for consumers who want to take away food to eat at home.
Nyama choma na mishikaki hizo chicken pia, but compared to kitambo sasa imekuwa cheaper and readily available kwa streets yani.
Chakula yao ni nzuri, ni tamu sana. Huwa kama sasa sina time lakini nakuja naweka order, wananipea naenda kula nyumbani ama naweza kula ndani ya gari pia nikiendelea na kazi yangu.
The preparation of meals at home was largely a female affair, but now you will see both men and women prepare and sell food in the restaurants and on the streets.
Kuna mambo ya gender siku hizi. Hata kwa makazi zingine pia wanawake wako na pia mahali ya kupika pia wanaume pia wameingilia.
It is evident that the coastal communities have been able to hold on to and pass the Swahili cuisine culture from generation to generation. Fatma Bugu, NTV, Mombasa.
Time for another quick commercial break here on NTV Weekend Edition, but still ahead.
And we're here to continue the implementation of our Food Trees for Schools project, which is a project that is aimed at addressing the challenge of food security, but also raising awareness among our children.
Sit down with youth climate champion Elizabeth Wadhuti. Women Empower when we return.
Welcome to the Delight Nakuru, brought to you by Username Investments. Perfect for your dream home, investment for holiday home, going only for 799,000 shillings for 1/8 of an acre. SMS Nakuru to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Niaje? Nataka kuithrow 2,000.
Sawa.
Nimeget airtime.
Airtel Money inakuokolea.
Really?
Yes.
Aje?
Ukiwithdraw chapa kwa Airtel Money agent inakurudishia hiyo transaction fee kama airtime.
Auntie.
Karibu.
Shosho. Chiko. Nipotea.
Angalia hapo kwa buchari kanjia kako hapo.
Oh.
Rudishiwa transaction fee kama airtime kila mara unapo-withdraw Airtel Money. Airtel Money makes your life kidogo better.
It's Friday and things are looking a bit boring. Fanta. Submit to the fizziest of fizz. Surrender to a bubbly bliss. Fall for the tangiest of tangs. Succumb to the flavor frenzy. Fanta. Indulge with a sip and snack.
Who is a true partner? They go out of their way to help you. They do not hesitate to go the extra mile. And they're always there standing beside you. They step in when you need them the most. Because a true partner is a partner kwa ground. KCB Bank.
It's time to get stepping. Step up to your most loved content and enjoy the next level upgrade for free.
Respect that.
Upgrade now and step up to even more action. Step up to more football. Step up to more local drama. Step up to more fun and get more than you pay for. Upgrade now and get boosted to the next package for free. Dial *423# or call 0711 066 000 and upgrade to the next level for free.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching NTV Weekend Edition. 28-year-old Elizabeth Wadhuti is an environment and climate change activist who nurtures young people to love nature, to be environmentally conscious at a young age. Elizabeth has been teaching school-going children the importance of planting trees at school as a way of conserving the environment. She says the best way to teach children about the environment is by assigning them to care for trees, documenting growth progress, and encouraging them to motivate each other to plant more trees. NTV's Rose Wangoi sat down with the Youth Climate Change Action Champion and now brings us her story in our weekly segment, Women and Power.
My name is Elizabeth Wadhuti. I am an environmentalist and also a young climate leader. I'm also the founder of the Green Generation Initiative that nurtures young people to love nature and to be environmentally conscious. And today we are here at Treeside Special School in Kasarani, and we're here to continue the implementation of our Food Trees for Schools project, which is a project that is aimed at addressing the challenge of food security, but also raising awareness among our children and pupils and generally the young people about the impacts of climate change, but not more so on that, but a lot more on how they can be a part of the solution, such as by making sure that they are growing fruit trees in their school compound that can end up supplementing their school's feeding program. We came to this school and we mapped out one corner that was enough for 100 fruit trees. So that's what we planted today. And this was a mix of loquats, guavas, avocados, mangoes, and also oranges. And the assorted mix of it is to also ensure that there are fruits in and out of seasons, and fruits is something very nutritious. Because I grew up and I spent so much of my childhood in the most forested region in Kenya, that's in Nyeri County. So all I know as a child is the clean streams that were flowing next to my homestead, it's the beautiful trees, the butterflies. At the age of 7, the late Professor Wangari Maathai was my member of parliament, and that's when I got a chance to plant my first tree. And it's a memory that still sticks on to me and has continued to help me grow in my passion, grow in my love for nature, but even go out there to influence how other people are responding to climate change issues and how other people are taking up steps and solutions to tackle environmental challenges. For me now, working with children is something really special because it enables me to nurture and raise more young environmental enthusiasts. If all of us were environmentally conscious, a lot of the challenges we are facing today caused by humans would not be happening because we would be very cautious about how we treat nature. We'd be very cautious about even small things like throwing trash out of car windows, making sure that our streams are clean, making sure environment is clean, making sure that we are protecting our forests. It's a Fruit Trees for Schools project, and we have 10 active schools that are ongoing. In fact, this was our 10th school. And for each of the other schools that we've planted, we have been able to distribute and grow up to 500 tree seedlings for each school. We also in schools do this through Adopt a Tree campaign. So we have to make sure that every child in every school we go to has got a tree that they plant, and they're assigned to take good care of it, nurture it, water it until they finish school. And as well, the cycle continues with the other students that join in the new year. And then at the same time, we have to embark on an entire year-long monitoring and evaluation plan to make sure that these tree seedlings are surviving. So impact for us is being able to see to it that all the fruit trees we are planting have been able to grow to maturity and that they can be able to provide the much needed nutrition for our children. My work, I would say, as a young environmentalist, is how I'm now able to bring these local solutions to the global stage to make sure that we, of course, number one, have more support coming in to the local solutions, and also that we have a lot more conversations about the work that is already going on the ground in the global conversations, and of course to make sure that we are pushing from just having policies to implementing policies that also in a huge way benefit people on the ground, because the climate change impacts are a lot more affecting communities, and these communities that are most affected, even in our continent in Africa, even right here in Kenya, these are the same people that are leading the solutions on the ground. So we talk a lot more on the challenges, but we forget about the stories of resilience. How can we be able to make sure that we have long-term, tangible solutions to the impacts of climate change? Sometimes you have droughts, sometimes you have floods, and we're very quick to respond with short-term plans. But for us, the focus is how can we make sure that our communities have long-term solutions and projects that can be able to even caution them in the next drought season, in the next rainy season. And I think being able to move in that way, shaping policies in that way, and making sure that it's aligning with the work on the ground is the most important thing for us. First, right now we are at beyond 100,000 trees, and I think for us the impact and how we give this number is in terms of the trees we can actually account for the growth. And secondly, it's also the aspect of how we can continue to encourage more Kenyans to establish tree nurseries that can be able to support in the contributions towards the 15 billion tree growing initiative. We ought to embrace that culture of collective action, of collective responsibility, where nobody's left behind, where we're not just asking a few individuals to plant trees, and we're not just asking a few individuals to participate in conservation, but all of us are part and parcel of that. We take up personal responsibility and initiatives to make sure that we are not just doing it for the sake of doing it, but we are doing it so that our children and our children can have food, they can have water, they can have clean air, they can be able to thrive in an ecosystem that enables them to thrive and survive in good health. And that will only be done if all of us take that personal, heartfelt initiative to participate in environmental conservation. Have been able to engage in a lot of international engagements, and I think the biggest forum I spoke at was at COP26 during the World Leaders Summit, where I was addressing about 110 heads of states and other leaders around the world, and the speech was very clear to what is true to my heart around people making sure that we embrace love and compassion in this work that we are doing, because we are doing it for ourselves, for our own survival as humanity. I've also been able to get a lot of recognitions, both nationally and internationally, for my work, and also for using my voice within the global space to advocate for climate action and to advocate for people to be part and parcel of environmental conservation. And recently, a few weeks ago, among the 100 most influential young women in Africa, and I also received the Time 100 Impact Award in Singapore just last September because of this work that I've continued to carry on. Awards is just a recognition as well for a lot of the other young people like me out there that are stepping up and choosing to not be stopped by the challenges around, but stepping up, taking up leadership, and making sure that we are doing whatever we can within our capacity to address the challenges around us, but also to support our communities to be able to continue thriving and surviving even in this era of climate change.
You're watching NTV Weekend Edition. Time for a quick commercial break on a day that Kenyans across the country had peaceful protest against the rising cases of femicide and other forms of violence against women. Still ahead, we have that special focus group discussion with various stakeholders on this very important topic. But still ahead in sports. Commonwealth 800 meters gold medalist Mary Moraa shines in 400 meters. Stick around for the details.
Brought to you by Username Investments. Perfect for your dream home. Investment for holiday home. Going only for 799,000 shillings for 1/8 of an acre. SMS Nakuru to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
Buda, unaonaje hii moti? Buda iko fiti mbaya. Lakini si ulisema huwezi nunua dinga before ujenge. Sasa utaipark wapi? Nitaipark huku tu, nishanunua plot, naanza kujenga. Buda, Hebu nichanue.
Welcome to the Delight Nakuru, brought to you by Username Investments. Perfect for your dream home, investment for holiday home, going only for 799,000 shillings for 1/8 of an acre. There's borehole water, estate gate, graded access roads, electricity, and proximity to modern high-end schools, hospitals, and other social amenities. SMS Nakuru to 20321 or call 0725 000 222.
New Nivea Luminous visibly reduces dark spots. Does it really work? Trust me. For post-acne marks too? Of course. World's #1 anti-spot expert serum, now for post-acne dark marks and age spots. Visible results in just 2 weeks. That means also for my age spots. Already worked for over 1 million women. Nivea Luminous 630. It works.
Haya! Umesikia? Kwenye *570# kashake kameiva. Shamba ni mili na zinangoja ushindi wako kwa Lucky Game. Na hii Aprili mshindi wa kwanza anavuka na shamba lake, na Mei tunamtangaza the grand winner wa shamba na lori ya mawe. Ni rahisi, kwenye *570#. Kila shilingi 100 unaocheza nayo inakupa 1 entry point ya draw zote za shamba pekee na shamba na mawe. Vuka na shake, anza uchezi kwenye *570#.
I don't think you understand. I'm running out of time. I don't think you really know. Not enough time for you and me.
There's a kind of bank assurance intermediary that really allows you to relax because you know you'll be good. That's Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary for you. Get covered real good through Coop Bank Assurance Intermediary.
When you're finally released from pain, that moment when you start to get back to ordinary, and ordinary feels amazing. Whatever pain you're going through, release starts here.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we review Changan Auto's flagship product, the Hunter Double Cab Pickup. We check out its design, comfort, performance, and off-road capabilities. Finally, we glance over the horizon with Land Rover's Discovery's plug-in hybrid and check out Mazda's latest model, the stunning CX-60 SUV. Catch this and much more on your Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. in association with Changan Auto by Inchcape, Kenya.
Join the Optivan family today and experience the epitome of coastal living at Ocean View Ridge, Vipingo by Optivan. Call us on 0790 300 300.
Optivan.
Welcome back to the broadcast. The family of Nancy Modhoni, a woman who was brutally murdered in Kiharu village, Mukurweini, Nyeri County, is urging the government to speed up investigations to determine who killed their daughter. According to the husband of the deceased, Modhoni left home on Tuesday at 10 p.m., going to the shops, but never returned. NTV's Margaret Kimathi now reports.
36-year-old Nancy Modhoni was last seen on January 23rd at 10 p.m. when she was having supper with her family at Kiharu village in Mukurweini sub-county. According to the husband of the deceased, Ben Minor, she informed her that after having supper, she would go to her local shopkeeper to pay a debt she owed the owner before she disappeared.
Akienda huko kwa jiko, akimaliza kukula hatukujua vile alienda. Tulistukia ameenda. Tukaanza kumtafuta sasa. Mimi nilistukia kama saa 4. Nilistukia saa 4 hayuko.
After spending a restless night, Maina woke up at 5 a.m. to prepare his children to go to school and later launched a search for his wife of 17 years.
Nikakuja, sikuweza kwenda hata kibarua. Nikang'ang'ana. Sasa hiyo siku iliisha ni kama namtafuta na sikumuona.
When Maina realized he could not trace his wife's footsteps, he reported the matter to the assistant chief. He learnt of his wife's death through Facebook after someone posted a photo of a dumped body along the Ngathi Ishamara Road.
Sasa ndiliona kwa simu, nikaona hiyo picha zenye zilipikwa hapo kwa FB. Nikaona hiyo nguo ni kama ya ule mtu wangu. Nikakuja sasa kuangalia hiyo nguo. Nikaona nguo sioni. Sasa hapo nikaamua tu. Juu huyo mtu wangu sijui mahali yako. Wacha tu nikimbie huko. Nione kama ni yeye. Nikienda nikakuconfirm nikapata ni yeye. Ametuacha tu.
Father of the deceased Gibson Wanjohi demanded justice for his last-born daughter, saying that she did not deserve to die the way she did.
Lazima tutake kwa manake hakuna si kuku ni mtu binadamu. Manake hata wakati niliposikia mambo hiyo nilishangaa sana, manake nikafikiria yeye ndio amegombana na bwana.
Yeye alikuwa mzuri kwa majirani, hata sisi hatukuwa ubaya na yeye. Ni mzuri tu. Hakuna shida na watu wengine. Ni mtu mzuri tu.
On Thursday 25th, a mutilated body of a middle-aged woman was found dumped in a thicket in Kiharu, several kilometers from her home. According to Mokoroine Sub-County Police Commander Beatrice Nyaga, the woman's face was disfigured while her body had bruises on her neck and thighs. In addition, one of her arms was broken, indicating that she was in a temporary struggle with the perpetrator or perpetrators who murdered her. Police in Mokoroine are conducting investigations to find her killer. She's among 17 women who have been killed this year alone. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Now, a life lost is one too many. More than 500 women have been killed in the last decade. Too big a figure that thrusts the country into national shame. The country has failed, and it has failed its women folk too. It is important to note that in the last 1 decade, tremendous digital technological revolution has caused a complete shift in how our society conducts its affairs. This includes how people date, interact, and even how the media reports the news. What has remained constant thus far is femicide and gender-based violence. Women often bear the brunt of it all, with few cases of men victims, but equally alarming. So where is the missing link? Tonight we talk to various stakeholders on this matter on a day women and lobbyists held nationwide protests following a spate of killings targeted on women.
Stop killing women and femicide. Stop killing women and femicide. Stop killing women and femicide.
Absolutely, and one life lost is one too many. More than 500 women have been killed in the last decade. Too big a figure that thrusts the country into a national shame. The country has failed, and it has failed its women folk too. It is important to know that in the last 1 decade, tremendous digital technological revolution has caused a complete shift in how our society conducts its affairs. This includes how people date, interact, and even how the media reports the news. What has remained constant thus far is femicide and gender-based violence. Women often bear the brunt of it all, with few cases of men victims, but equally alarming. So where is the mission link? Tonight, we hear from various stakeholders on this matter on a day women and lobbyists held a nationwide protest following the spate of killings targeted on women. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me tonight on NTV on this candid conversation. And maybe I'll just go straight to the point. Is this wave of femicide a new thing, or just the nature of the execution that has rattled women and lobbyists to take action? Maybe I'll hear from you, Felicity.
as a woman who is into sex work, femicide has been there because we lost in 2008. There was a case of Onyancha who was actually killing sex workers in Thika, Nairobi, and different parts of the country, Nakuru. And as sex workers in 2009, we took the first demonstrations in 2010, and by saying stop killing sex workers, we are also a human being. But there is this thing about naming and shaming which came forward, and it made people look like it is a sex workers thing. But it was a women's thing because it was only the women who are into sex work who are being murdered by Onyancha. Yes.
Maybe, what do you have to say, Wango?
You will discover that every other time a woman is killed, but then how do we document it? Do we document it as a homicide or murder, or do we document it as femicide? And the reason why I'm saying that is, are you looking at the root cause, why the woman was actually killed, and the circumstances that surround that specific crime scene? If you look at 2018, we actually held a vigil. Then Matiang'i was the CS Interior. We held a vigil at Nairobi University, and people committed, various state agencies committed that they will address the issues of femicide or violence against women. To date, we are still grappling with the same issue, day in, day out.
We have a gentleman in studio, and maybe it's also beautiful to hear from him. What do you have to say regarding today women have come out to speak about it, but also we've seen cases where men have also been killed, but we don't see men speaking out. Where is the gap?
The issue of the boy child is always on the back, and nobody's looking at the gender when it comes to men, and that's why men have been raised in a society where you are told, go fight for what you know. There's no silver spoon when it comes to your issues.
You told men do not cry.
Yeah, men do not cry. You have to be strong. So it becomes as if men do not have feelings, and that's why some of them, with the bitterness inside them, then they end up doing the unexpected. Yeah.
Mami France, leo nimekuona ulikuwa na mabango pale, unapiga kelele, unasema jamani wanawake tujitokeze. Swala hili umelichukulia vipi wewe kama mtoto wa kike na pia mtoto ambaye umejitosa katika mitandao, na tasnia ya mitandao si rahisi?
The blame game here iko kwa wanawake. If you don't find your own money, you'll be killed. So my question is to them. So we don't have the right to live, ama tujue tu. Unaelewa? Kwa sababu if you put a blame on someone mwenye alikuwa anafanya kazi, hiyo ni kazi yake. Prostitute have a right, and that right is for them to live.
Sijui kama kuna hii video mmeiona, kuna video imekuwa imekisambaa juzi, wanaume waliweza kuzungumza pale Jivanji, na matamshi waliotoa wengi wakisema jamani hawa wakamatwe, waingizwe ndani kabisa. Mami, wasichana wa siku hizi tunataka maisha ya haraka, na wanaume wanasema ndio, hakuna mtu anafaa kuuliwa, lakini wanaume wanasema kwa nini mnakula pesa zetu?
Katika hiyo kauli ambao wanaume walisema tutawaua mkiendelea kukula pesa zetu, mwanzo alitaja pizza. Nilirepost hiyo video. Mimi langu kubwa nilikuwa nauliza ni pizza zake ngapi zimeliwa tuwalipe.
Hata zikiliwa kiasi gani?
Ndio, ni pizza zako ngapi zimeliwa, hela zako ngapi zimeliwa, tukulipe. Kama hiyo pesa ndio imefanya wewe unaua mtoto wa mtu, ni sawa bwana, acha tukuregeshe pesa yako, basi mregeshe maisha yake. It is that simple.
We should stop reducing this end femicide campaign to the narrative of sex worker, because we know clearly, based on also Odipo Def reports, watu wamekuwa kiua pia wanawake ni wanaume wazee. In a marriage couple, we have seen it, it's high. People who are married, they've been killed by their husband. We have seen it, even small kids being killed. We have seen even women human rights defenders, activists being killed. And when you talk about end femicide campaign in Kenya, it's because it has been normalized. And if you talk about
what you feel.
Yeah, it has been normalized. And if you ask me, the government has failed. And I want to be in a position as a woman, hata mimi mwenyewe nikidate. Kama mimi niko kwa street, sasa siko kwa street. Bado natafuta. Bado natafutaje pia boyfriend na nikimwona naona madara. Bala nione binadamu. So I feel even as a country, tunafaa to stop this narrative of saying femicide is because women want better. Nani anataka better life? Kuna mtu anataka kusafa? Who wants to suffer? Hata nyinyi journalists wanataka kusafa?
I mean, do you feel that women, we've been subjected to be objects?
Yes. And we've normalized it to a point that you have to defend yourself for being a woman. You have to actually, and we're having this discussion before this, and we're saying, as a woman, probably, I can't speak for a man, but as a woman, every day I have to think about where I'm going somewhere, I need to dress like this, I need to always there are 15 steps before I get to the main agenda. So for us as women, I feel like it's very unfair, and we need to be in an environment where I am judged for who I am and not because I'm a woman or what I, how I look.
When you say we have normalized it, who is we?
I will say the society in totality, but most of it men.
As a woman, what fears do you have today? And if you have the fears, then who do you feel let you down?
As a woman, just by the mere fact of existing, it's a fear, because I don't know what I'll get when I walk out there, or even when I'm in my house. There is danger everywhere. I'll start from like the way society functions. The woman, generally, I am given a lower value when it comes to women, and I think that's why it's so easy for a man to kill me, and that man is not brought to justice because my life does not hold value. There's the fear of going out at night. There's the fear of walking in secluded places. There's the fear of even, if say you are a mother to a daughter, there's the fear of even just leaving your daughter at home with even their parents.
So where do we place girl child empowerment? Because from what you're saying, I can hear the pain.
Yes.
Your heart is bleeding as a woman. But again, when you come to the society, and I'm happy at least we have a gentleman in studio, they say that women have been empowered. So women being empowered, where do we place this?
I'd like to speak that in the sense that there's power and there's assumed power. So what men have is power. What women have is assumed power. We are, and I feel like this is like a dangling carrot. Like, here's the power, you can have it, but you really don't.
So Felicitas, allow me to bring into attention this thing that is now even trending on social media, and that is the victim blaming. Because when you go through the comments, our sisters who've just lost the other day, you'll find so many people stating, why did they take themselves to where they went to?
I would like to speak into my expertise as a woman, but a woman who is into sex work again. So one of the things is the fact that sex work has been there, and it has been there for years. Like Mukali said it, we women, we take care of men. I have a boyfriend that I take care of. I've been having men that have been paying their bills when they go to the restaurants. I don't have this, I provide. Sometimes they even drive my car. Why didn't I have the power of killing that man? Why is it an issue when a man is providing something for a woman? So this should come to your attention. There's a problem that people have when it comes to women empowerment. Good things are not only meant for men, they are also meant for women.
We don't see our men as our brothers anymore, our boyfriends to be our husbands, but we see them as murderers. How does that sink to you?
Well, it's unfortunate that in the society today we have to state it that way. But the reality is even the empowerment that has been assumed is within the men, and now we're empowering the girl child. We're empowering the girl child well, but we're forgetting the boy who is the murderer. We're not telling our boys it's bad to be just another girl at school. You're asking your boy at home, why were you beaten by Cynthia? And that boy will grow knowing that I need
Cynthia is not supposed to be.
Yes. So Cynthia is always supposed to be beaten, and they'll grow with that, and they turn out to be men the next day, and they're killing. And even the boys themselves, what are the conversations they're having? Why have you been, mbona umepigwa na mwanamke, mbona mwanamke amekuongelesha hivyo mbele yetu, and they end up, growing so bitter, and then we see what is happening lately.
Wango, so moving forward, because we've had this before. You spoke about 2018, the case of Sharon. I'm looking at 10 years from now, 5 years from now. Are we still going to have this same focus group to speak of the same issue? So then we need to fix the gap.
I think it has been mentioned many times, but I think femicide has to be written in the Constitution as a crime on its own. A crime that when a woman is killed, it's documented as femicide. That's one. And then there need to be very punitive measures against it, because I think even the audacity, the bravery with which men, especially on the social media, with which men just speak about, I will kill a woman, it just shows that I can do it.
So there's so much freedom?
Yeah, like they just say it because if they knew that if I dared kill this person because she is a woman and these are the repercussions for it, they wouldn't be so shameless in speaking like that.
From where I'm coming from, in a way for us to fix this nation, it needs to start with us. And as women, we've started it. Because women have been working in isolation. Oh, I'm a farmer, I'm a woman who is into farming. I cannot associate with those women. But today we have the End Femicide Kenya movement, where women have come together, where we do not discriminate women because of their gender. Me being one of the organizers, and I am a sex worker, I feel like I have been given an opportunity to put an end into this. Because if we sit together as women, we will strategize and end all those languages that people are speaking about.
Is it working?
Us. It is really working. That's the reason why today we were expecting 500 women. We ended up having more than 3,000 women marching together with their fellow women.
Kama alivyosema kwa Kiswahili tunasema umoja ni nguvu, utengano ni udhaifu. So today tumekuja pamoja. Mahakama isipotusikiza, there is no day watawahi kutusikiza. The same way they take main issues and place them on their table. It's the same way issue ya femicide. The High Court has to take it and place it on the table. If it is not the parliament, if it is not the president, the judiciary has to take it. And another thing I would love to say is for the government, tunaomba. Mimi nikienda nikiripoti, kuna mtu wangu ameuliwa. Nikienda nikiripoti, nimepigwa. Si jukumu langu kama mwanamke, nitoe mafuta, nilipe polisi. Aende afanye uchunguzi. All I'm asking is, can we have financial dependency on this sector?
Currently, the country is not short of laws. You have the constitution and you have numerous laws that support different, that address different crimes. The one of the things that we've seen in the past, best practice, anyone who can remember Pamoja Tuangamize Ukimwi, who was the lead? The president then. Yes. Mwai Kibaki. So why is our current president not coming out and speaking against what is happening to the women of Kenya?
So you feel one way of fixing this is that we need to see the state being
coming out clearly and saying, I am condemning this, and the state not being the machinery. There's an individual who's leading the state, and he has the sole responsibility to make sure that all Kenyans are safeguarded.
Most important thing is putting in structures and resources to ensure that when it's all said and done, when a case reported, there's structures and there's resources to empower these women and future generations.
And the government, it's their responsibility to functionalize the gender desks that they have in those police stations. Those gender desks are either manned by men, and if worse comes to it, even women issues are not even addressed properly. So we have to start functionalizing those gender desks.
An example, watu wajivanji na wajua. So government wafuatilie na iwashike because they're inciting violence. The moment I see them getting arrested, I'll know government is serious.
Exactly.
Because I know them, Kenyans, please, 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 let us not victim blame. Let's stand together to end femicide. Bado mimi nitakukatiwa. Lazima mimi nikatiwe. Lazima nipendwe, nipendane. Na sitaki feel na feel unsafe. Sitaki nikatiwa na Chalino na wewe ni madara tumesema takuwa ni binadamu anaweza kaa na yeye.
Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for having this candid conversation that is a worrying trend in the country. And yes, as my placard says, being a woman should not be a death sentence. And from me, I say, stand together with us, be bold, be fearless, be courageous, because that is what we need to resist pushback on women's rights. My name is Frida Mwaka. As I always say it in Swahili, siku zote ukiniita, nitaitika.
Stop killing women and femicide. Stop killing women and femicide. Stop killing women and femicide. Stop killing women and femicide.
Right, let's jump into the sports update. Good evening, I'm Bernard Ndong. Kenya Police FC advanced to the round of 32 of the FKF Mozart Bet Cup after beating Vegpro 2-0 at the Longonot Horticulture Stadium in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Tito Okello put police ahead in the first minute before new signing Samuel Onyango added the second in the 46th minute. Elsewhere, Posta Rangers beat Wisdom Soccer Academy by a similar scoreline at the Ndora Sports Complex in Trans Nzoia County. On Sunday, Luanda Villa will play against Al Azizia at the Kinoru Stadium in Meru County, while FC Talanta will face off against Marafiki at Kinunga as Bungoma Stars battle Bandari at the Sudi Stadium in Bungoma County.
Hata tukutarajia vile, nafikiria kidogo vijana walikuja wakalegea, lakini baadaye wamekuja wakapik. So wale wamepata chances zao wametumia, sisi zetu hatukuzitumia.
Game iko nzuri, ukiangalia ni timu ndogo lakini wamejaribu pia, wako vibaya sana, lakini game iko nzuri, tumescore haraka so tukajiniza kwa game haraka, but lakini imekuwa ngumu kidogo kulingana na level ya hii team pia na level yetu, so kuna kama dharau kidogo kama ingia ndani, but lakini nafikiria ya game yoyote.
Let's focus on athletics and 3,000 meter steeplechase. World record holder Beatrice Chepkoech and Commonwealth gold medalist in the 800 meters Mary Mora triumphed in their respective races at the third Athletics Kenya meet, which concluded Saturday at the Nyayo National Stadium. Mora dominated the 400 meters track, clocking 51.97 seconds, upstaging her Kenya police compatriots Millicent Ndoro and Damaris Nduleve to second and third. Ndoro stopped the time at 52.74 seconds, with the latter crossing the finish line at 53.41 seconds. In the women's 5,000 meters final, Chepkoech finished top of the pile, crossing the finish line in 15 minutes, 22.05 seconds. Rebecca Njeri was second, with Vivian Kosgei rounding off the podium positions in third.
So we are still doing speed endurance. We have not started speed yet. Next week, part 2, I will be doing indoor to room 1,500 meters. Yeah, because all I'm lacking is speed. So I want to start the season with indoors, at least to gain that speed.
And I asked the coach maybe to give me a chance to run this weekend meeting, and he said yes. So I was competing to see where my speed is actually.
Now, officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations alongside the Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAC, and the Pharmacy and Poisons Board apprehended 4 suspects who are alleged to be facilitating doping of athletes in an operation currently underway in the North Rift region. In return, the multi-agency officers accosted a pharmacy attendant administering a suspected banned substance to an athlete through intravenous transfusion during a Friday evening raid. The multi-agency team, comprising of officers from the DCI, ADAC, and the Pharmacy and Poisons Board inspectors, confiscated used syringes, needles, drips, and an assortment of drugs, as well as other medical paraphernalia. The other 3 suspects were arrested in Kapsabet, Nandi County, through a similar operation and are expected to be arraigned in court. Now, the Kenya Motorsports Federation Awards are currently underway at the Carnival Grounds here in Nairobi to fit the best of the best in Kenyan motorsports. Now, the top drivers in the Kenya National Rally Championship, the Kenya National Karting Championship, the Kenya National 4x4 Championship, the Autocross Championship, and the National Tarmac Championship will be fitted in the Glitzy Awards. The Motorsport Personality of the Year Award, Personality of the Year will be fitted as well. That is the individual who will win the main prize. And finally, let's shift gears and focus on the African Cup of Nations, which resumes tonight with the round of 16, where Angola have qualified for the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations after hammering Namibia by 3-0. Now, they led in the first half with 2 goals from Gelson Dalla. You can see those goals there, despite both sides being reduced to 10 men. Well, they increased the goal first with a 3rd goal soon after, and of course, the later fixture between Cameroon against rivals Nigeria at 11 p.m. will determine the team that will face off against the Angolans in the last 8.
Freddie will take delivery again. It's